And we're live.
That was pathetic.
So what is going on, people, and welcome to podcast number 5 from us at the Slightly Good Gamers. It has been a long time since we have done a podcast. We do apologise for that. You know, a few of us have been on holidays. Some of us are just lazy. You know, it's been a hard time getting everyone together, but we are finally here. We finally found a gap in all our schedules, and we can sit down and have a little chat about all things gaming. As ever, I'm joined by the other 3 gentlemen, so let's go round one by one. Dale, how are you?
I'm good, mate, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate.
Good.
Enjoying your week off from work?
Yeah, I am, actually. It's been a nice break after what's been a very busy couple of weeks, but, you know, it is what it is. Moving house and all of that. It comes with the territory.
Very good. How are you enjoying the new house?
It's been slightly weird, I must admit, and that's nothing to do with the missus. It's just me. It's just me. It's just me like trying to adapt to it. But you know,
Yeah,
I'm getting there. I'm getting
Scared
there.
of the dark.
I suppose me and Dan have that advantage in a way because we've both been to uni, so living away from home, not too foreign.
Whereas it's the first time I've ever moved out, so it's been weird but good at the same time.
Very nice. Dan, how are you?
No, I'm well. How are you?
That sounded really forced.
No, I'm okay. Not too
Having
shabby.
a bit of a stressful time at work.
Just working a lot, but I don't mind it. I like the job, so I'm cool.
Good.
Cool.
How's the Welsh life?
Oh,
A bit
grey.
sheepish.
Grey as fat. No, it's pretty. There's lots of Welsh countryside to look at. Very nice. Very
Welsh
pretty.
countryside always helps when you're in Wales, I suppose.
It does. It's one of the bonuses of being in Wales, the Welsh countryside and the Welsh people.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least, Luke,
Yo.
how are you,
Hello.
mate?
Yeah, good, you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
I thought you just
Same
were
here.
going to answer.
Yeah, I thought it's just like...
I thought you were just going to blank it there.
It wasn't delayed on my side, so don't worry.
Did you enjoy Tenerife?
Yeah, it was good, mate. How did you find it?
Yeah, it was really good, mate. Bit disappointed you didn't get drunk at any point.
No, mate, I said I wanted a chilled one. And I had a chilled one, thank God.
Well, to be fair, you didn't get drunk and you were still suffering because of your bloody sinuses.
Oh, mate, that was pain. That was
If you got drunk, you would have had JMO standing in front of you just breathing. While
You
you
got a lot
slept.
more than
Sorry,
that, I
what?
wouldn't worry about that. You got to see...
Drink this, Luke.
You got to see me in a mankini saluting the German national anthem. It was a beautiful thing.
Christ.
Jesus,
I
that's a
won't call it beautiful,
that's
but
a
there
sight
you
for sore eyes. That make you go blind.
For the love of God, no.
Please no.
But let's move on from that horrible, horrible thought and let's talk about some games and gaming things. And I think we'll start, as we are all Xbox boys. You know, a lot has happened since the last podcast that we did. Details have finally come out about the Xbox Series X and the S.
Oh, here.
So it is being released on the 10th of November, so only, less than 2 months away. But we are able to, well, I say we, everyone is able to pre-order the Xbox in the UK from the 22nd, so this time next week.
Mental.
Yeah, boy.
You can,
I'm so
you
excited.
can pre-order from 8 a.m. at selected retailers in the UK. The Series X is going to cost £449, which is a bit cheaper than I thought it was going to be.
It's a
That's
good price
ridiculous.
considering that that's what I paid for the Xbox One X, and that was about a year and a half after more than that actually. How many years after the original Xbox was it?
When did the Xbox
Okay,
X,
10.
One X come
I
out?
can't remember.
20.
Oh,
So
the
I must
one
have had it
X.
2-ish years, so it must have been about 3 years after, something like that. 4 years maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting £700-800. Not gonna
think-
lie, for next generation.
I think everyone was,
It
to be
good.
honest.
Mental that they're charging for. And what was it? It's 250.
Hold on.
For the
Not
little
just
ones.
that, not just that though, but they've also got finance options in place, which is pretty good, and it's the first time it's ever happened. I think.
$24.99.
I'll talk about that.
Sorry.
What do you think? I am a bad host.
Jumping the gun.
Jump in the gun.
Yes.
Yeah,
just
the
excited.
Series S, as Dan alluded to, is available for £249. But as Dale's just mentioned, you can get them slightly cheaper Where it works out. I've looked at a few different places for the finance things. Some are reporting different things, but on the whole, it looks like it's slightly cheaper actually if you finance it. Although there's a deal you can do. You combine it with 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. If you buy 24 months of that, then you can get it slightly cheaper. And as you mentioned, it's available on credit on a plan called Xbox All Access, I believe. But some places are reporting different amounts. I've seen some people say it's going to be £21 a month. Some people say it's £25 a month. So, you know.
I saw that was for the S, wasn't it? The actual Series X is 30 something, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think we said it was 35.
Yeah. But even so, offering that option, it's a good thing and it's not. It's obviously a dangerous game because inevitably you'll have people that will buy it on finance that then, of course, won't be able to pay it back. I'm sure that will happen. But in general, it's a fairly decent price, monthly, rather than just outlaying all that money in one go. You can get it on finance and. It's certainly a more viable option for people, especially someone like myself. It's being a student and stuff.
Yeah, they've definitely geared this towards trying to steal some of PS, people and trying to get them to move across with finance deals because I haven't seen anything about PlayStation doing the same or similar.
Yeah, I'll mention PlayStation in a minute, but I think. It's a good thing as well because of what's been going on in the world recently. Obviously, a lot of economies are falling, and obviously we're in a recession. So offering people that that credit system is good because people like we just said they might not have the money to shell out all in one go. So it gives them a little bit manageable payment. About £25-30 a month. Certainly favourable, and I think it sort of appeals to younger people as well. Obviously, people that teenagers won't be able to do the credit plans because they're not 18. But if they get it for Christmas or something, then it's manageable for their parents and young adults as well. Maybe just in their first jobs or something who don't have much money in the world. They can go on the finance plans as well. So I think it's a good thing they're trying to appeal to a much wider audience.
I think their price points as well aim towards the younger audience as well that might not necessarily have been able to afford the X. Off the bat with the S, because obviously I know that it's got less processing power, whatever it is, and all of that sort of stuff, but it gives them the option to be able to buy a new gen console for a relatively decent price, because if you think about it, it's realistically that console is not too far off of what a Nintendo Switch costs you these days.
Yeah, I mean I don't really know what to say, to be honest. Fair
enough.
You made a good point. I won't lie, I was half looking at my phone because I got a text. But yeah,
and he talks about his hosting skills.
Mate, what have you brought to the table?
Well, I've just made a good point, and you didn't even have a comeback.
Yeah, that's true. So one thing I did notice about it though is I read earlier, obviously being a smaller console, the Series S. I saw somewhere the Series S won't be able to play games in 4K.
No, yeah, I think it's saying they were doing like 1440p.
I think it's 1440p, which is not a million miles away realistically.
It's better than what we've got at the moment.
Yeah, but it won't be able to run. I think it said it won't be able to run Xbox One X enhanced games. It can only run like the normal ones and the enhanced ones from the previous generation.
I saw somewhere, I think it may have been on Twitter earlier today, that they've made like a Xbox Series S enhanced version of every single game, so it'll be running its own enhanced games.
It's on some of the stuff on the Game Pass at the moment. It says that it's S enhanced and then X enhanced. I'm sure I saw it.
But when I was reading it, when they first released a lot of the details about the Xbox, the next gen, I didn't realise the Series S would be less powerful. I just thought it was a discless version.
Problem is, though, if that was the case, then I would have... Well, that would have been perfect for someone like me, because I don't buy discs anyway, do you know what I mean? And I mean, they'd be missing a massive opportunity to make a lot of money, because a lot of people would go and buy it.
Yeah, but that's what.
Knocking 200 quid off a discless for a disc tray though seems a bit mental.
Yeah, but that when
Now,
they
in hindsight, I thought the same
yeah,
as well.
when they
though.
first released it, I don't think there was much mention, if any, that the S was going to be a weaker console.
No, they didn't. They didn't release the specs until the game after the game reveal, did they? Properly, anyway.
That was all rumours at that point.
Yeah, maybe a little bit
Anyway.
of misresearch on my part, but
No, I don't think there was much out there.
Anyway.
To be fair, mate. Like,
it's all right. Man's backing. We love that.
obs.
So, anyone else got anything on the Xbox, the next gen? Anything they want to say?
Oh yeah, actually, well, it's not really next gen anyway. I don't know whether you're going to bring it up, but I think Cloud Gaming Beta was released today.
No, I haven't. I
Ah.
wasn't going to mention anything about that.
Okay, yeah, so I was looking at Twitter today as well, and yeah, the cloud-based gaming has been released. Unfortunately, and there's a setback, it only works on Androids.
Interesting.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, no iOS cloud gaming on
So
Xbox,
most of their player base probably won't be able to use that. Great.
Oh, I did. I
Yeah.
think I did see something about that. So yeah, something to do with iOS and it was like the someone high up in Apple or something. He's like didn't back it or something. So I said like it weren't going to work or something.
Probably.
It's, as good
It's
as
probably
my
also to do
knowledge
with
on
the fact-
subject.
Yeah,
That
it's probably
bloke
to do
said
with the
that
fact-
thing about it,
that
didn't he?
bloke-
Didn't like it. It's going to be shit. Yeah.
It's probably the fact that Apple as well. You know what's happening with Fortnite on the iOS.
No.
No. Oh, basically, Apple took Fortnite off of iOS because they were allowing you to do microtransactions through the game rather than the Apple Store, and they've taken it off because of that. And I have a feeling that's why they don't want it on the iOS as well, because you'll be purchasing games not through the Apple Store. You'll be purchasing them obviously the way that we do
Yeah.
through the Microsoft Store.
So basically, they are worried that it's going to generate less revenue for them.
Basically,
Which is understandable.
or they're not going to see that revenue, even though it's on their phones.
I mean, it sounds like it's a bit, like. I was going to say petty, but that's maybe not the right word. But I guess from a business point of view, it is what it is, isn't it?
I was going to say, from a business
Yeah.
standpoint, it makes no sense.
No, that's why I think Fortnite Epic Games are actually taking Apple to court on it to get it resolved.
Interesting. I saw something as well. I was mentioning Fortnite. There's going to be like some sort of Fortnite Rocket League crossover. Has anyone else seen this?
No, but that really doesn't excite me.
No, it doesn't appeal to me either. But I was kind of intrigued by it. But
I'll play it once
Not
just to see what it's about, but
I could never get into Fortnite. I couldn't do it.
I liked it for a while and then it just got inundated with children.
I mean, it is targeted at child.
Yeah, no, I know,
audience.
but when it first came out, there was a lot of general Xbox players that probably played it. I actually did kind of enjoy it at the start, but then it just started grinding my gears a little bit. Same with Rocket League, actually.
I've always been terrible at Rocket League.
Yeah, you've got to be good at
Same.
that game to play it properly.
You've got to put
No, it was
loads
never
and
that
loads
good.
of time into it.
So we move on then from the Xbox to its rival, the PlayStation 5.
Boo.
Fuck's sake,
Right,
now.
the bias in here is unridiculed. Apparently, that's not even the right word. But anyway, so much like Xbox did have a showcase event with all its exclusives and stuff, PS5 are having a similar event tomorrow as we record this. Wednesday, it is Tuesday today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday
Yes.
the 16th of September. Now, Luke informs me that they've already done an event like this. I wasn't aware. Oh, yeah, because
time
they said
ago.
about... Oh, well, I think it was just when they released info about the PS5, they said there was going to be some sort of, like... they announced some of the exclusives and stuff. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had all like the trailers and game. Well,
Yeah, so-
there was no gameplay; it was just trailers
So
and stuff.
tomorrow is going to be essentially the same as what the Xbox event was. They're going to have, looking at exclusives. It's going to be gameplay, trailers for lots of different games, etc. It starts, so it's tomorrow as we record this, Wednesday the 16th of September. Starts at 9 p.m. UK time. Is apparently going to be roughly about 45 minutes. Available on the Sony Twitch and YouTube page as well as the PlayStation website. And then So if we talk about the games that they've already what they mentioned, Spider-Man Miles Morales is an exclusive. They're going to bring out a new Ratchet and Clank as well. I remember that being a popular favourite. But I think one of the things, a lot of speculation is going on about tomorrow's event, what there could be, and what there is going to be. But crucially, we still don't know the release date or the price of the PS5 yet, and a lot of people are speculating that could be included in tomorrow's event. Do we have any thoughts?
Makes sense.
Well, I'd expect it has to be, doesn't it, really? Because if they don't, then it's going to be left till last minute. Because they're going to have to start pre-orders pretty much the same time as an Xbox, otherwise they're going to lose a lot of their player base.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's it gonna look like though if they stand out and they're like, okay, so the price for the PlayStation £800.
Yeah, it's going to be more than the Xbox.
I've already seen
a lot
rumours
more
that
than
it's supposedly retailing at about 550, 600. But that's
Could
just
be a
through social
dangerous
media,
game.
so I could be wrong. But
Yeah,
at this
I
point,
wouldn't
it's all
trust social
rumours.
media.
But at this point, it's all rumours because no one knows, do they? So
Yeah. I think they've either seen the Xbox price and gone, you're charging that much, or they've gone, bollocks.
Shit.
yeah, bollocks. We're selling a PS5 for more money that isn't as powerful, and we're hedging our bets on exclusives. Good one.
Well, it's
Luckily, their exclusives are dank.
it would be interesting to see when they set their release date for, because Xbox One X, I'll mention this game later in more detail, but the Xbox One X comes out 3 days before the new COD comes out.
Perfect timing.
So I don't know whether they've seen that and gone, well, because of the success of COD this year, whether they're like, oh yeah, okay, if we tie it in with that, boom,
Didn't they recently do a deal with the COD where they get it a week earlier as well? So it's actually as soon as you buy the Xbox, you can download the new COD. Or
Did they?
Yep.
something, or I don't know if that includes 3 days.
Yeah, so you get early
everyone
access.
else.
So a little bit like what they've done with FIFA in the past, where if you pre-order it at a certain point, you get it for 7 days before, or whatever, or 5 days, or whatever it was. I think they're doing similar to that for the release of the Xbox.
Didn't they do that with UFC this year?
I think so. But I think it's only valid on the Series X, not the S, if I'm not mistaken.
But even so, that's
I don't know.
a nice little addition to have.
Oh, 100%. Being able to play
I
Call
know
of Duty on release, that'd be sick.
I know, like, originally, I can't remember when it was, I think Ghosts, that was the first Call of Duty that had been bought by either Xbox or PlayStation, because I know Xbox had the exclusives, or had it before PlayStation for a while, and then I think PlayStation took that over, the most recent ones, but it's good to hear that it's going back to Xbox, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice for us to get something first for a change.
Yeah.
We get icons in FIFA.
Oh, whoop-de fucking do.
You know, those icons that you probably never pack. You pack one in
never get
12 years of playing it.
Mate, do you remember when I got Paolo Maldini?
Oh, mate, I was actually... blew my mind, that.
That must have been FIFA 15 or 16, back before there was a limit on transfers, and I sold him for 6 million coins.
Yep. I remember that very well.
Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
If only I could go back and get back all of those pounds that I spent on that shite game.
No,
I
you
think
don't
I'd be
regret
rich.
it. You don't regret it at all.
I'd be able to buy the Xbox twice, maybe even 3 times.
Wow.
Well, aren't you a lucky boy? Do you know what? First and foremost, has anyone got anything else to say about the PlayStation?
Fuck it, shit.
I think I heard that they were going to do a disc version as well.
Yeah. I know they're going to do one. I don't know what it's going to be called, because obviously it's the X and the S for Xbox. I don't know what the
It'll
PS5...
be like PS5 digital or something like that.
The what? PS5
It'll be like the
midget?
PS5 digital or something along them lines.
Midget.
Yeah, I thought you said midget.
digital.
I don't think they could be calling that.
What? That's a risky name to be going. I suppose at least it will be a Dale-sized console.
Brilliant. Name it after me. Oh, can
PS5
we
Troyer.
just say about how ugly the Xbox Series S looks?
No, it doesn't.
It's a little box, mate.
Mate, if you
Is
saw
it?
it,
It's
it's
actually-
fucking horrendous with that big
Has it got
black
like-
circular fan vent thing.
Yeah, that did look shocking.
It looks like a microphone or a washing machine.
To be
Speaker.
fair, the
A speaker.
It's tiny as
Oh
well.
yeah,
It
it's
is
tiny,
tiny.
but
It's
it
like-
looks like a washing machine.
Xbox X isn't much better.
I kind of like it.
I don't care, mate. I don't care what it looks like. I just want
I
it to
still
do
maintain the
things
PS5
really
is a
fast.
better looking console.
Looks like a Sky
Oh,
router.
the metallic taco.
Yeah. Well, that appeals to me, doesn't it?
God's sake.
Would you rather have like a cube, or a taco? You know, I don't.
A cube.
The cube, the big black box, I think, for me.
Big black
Unless it's the
cube.
cube from Transformers, then I don't want no cube. You know what I'm saying?
It's actually a cuboid, not a cube. Just to correct you.
All right.
Empty, basic, void of colour. Everything that I am.
Okay. But yeah, what I was going to say was, are we all definitely getting a next gen console?
Yes.
Yep. I'm pre-ordering it next
Yes.
week.
What question is that? if we were getting next gen console, we shouldn't be doing this podcast.
No, only because I was considering not getting one.
Oh.
Oh, you're doing the PC thing.
Well, no, not just. To be fair, I don't have that many games on my PC. But no, I just like I don't play enough games. I feel like to justify.
What?
No, because all
Well,
you
this
lot do
podcast-
is
this
all you lot do, and it's justified by our YouTube channel. All you lot do is just play Apex. So it's just like, oh,
Yeah, but that's
okay,
because
well,
there's nothing. That's because we're coming to the end of the cycle of Xbox One. Like,
yeah, but
that's
it's only
why there's
going to
no.
be
left to play.
reiterations of the same games.
Yeah, we'll still play Apex, but we'll have those exclusives and that we can play. The new Call of Duty, blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z.
So you'll play
what
the
I
new
mean?
Call of Duty, but you won't play this one.
I'm not gonna
Ball
lie, I
it
feel like
this
we're
one.
breaking up right now.
No, I'm just like,
I feel like this is a
We'll get
break.
on to the new
Just
card.
telling me that it's not working
What's the-
anymore.
what-
I'm not into
what's
you.
that advert?
You don't smell the same.
what was that advert? It was like the chewing gum advert. It's like, is this a breakup?
More to the point, who's
That's
pre-ordering
what
it
I
next
thought.
week? That's the question.
Me. As soon as I get paid, I'm
As soon as
Same
it
here.
hits 8 a.m., I'm on a website pre-ordering.
Same here.
yeah, in wearing nothing except
Oh,
socks.
do you
I'm
know
not
what
even
the
wearing
worst bit
socks.
is? I'm not wearing socks. Do you know what the worst thing is? I get my student loan the day before pre-order, so I have no
Oh
excuse not
yes,
to.
boy.
Buy the fucking.
There you go.
If you don't buy the fucking next gen console, James.
Whoa!
You just called him James, bro.
Whoa.
What the fuck did you just do?
Right,
Who's James?
right, we're having a board meeting now. All
You're
those in favour
cancelled.
to vote Dan out of SGG. say aye.
Cancelled. I.
Aye.
What's wrong with James? It's an iteration of Jamie.
It's not, because it's not my fucking name.
You could have called him anything. You could have called him Big Sexy, Big J, JMO, Jamie.
Ha!
Yeah, Jamie.
I can't be angry or threaten him while calling him Big Sexy. I just fuck up the.
It would have made me
argument.
laugh.
Buy the fucking next gen Big Sexy.
Jamie,
It just immediately turns.
Just get the Xbox S if you're worried about paying loads of money for a console.
No, I'm not having a weaker console. Fuck that. I'm going to
Mate.
go hard or go home.
Well, go and get the fucking console then.
Exactly.
I can't believe it wasn't even a conversation. I can't believe you said what you said. Really.
No, it's a bit silly, isn't it?
No, I was, because all I play is like FIFA or COD or F1. So like I can do that on an Xbox One.
So
X.
I can play.
No,
I can
just
play
on Xbox
two
One, sorry.
of the three with you.
Seasoned gamer.
I'm not sure I can go on with this after being called James.
No, well, frankly, Jeffrey, I don't know. I don't like your attitude.
I'm a broken man.
Moving on. Move on.
Right, the show must go on. Let's move on to games now. And me and Daniel are going to continue our beef. NBA 2K21. I said that really weirdly. There we go. Let's go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, NBA 2K21. Dan, since you're the basketball enthusiast out of the four, I'll let you lead on this one. Thoughts on the news?
Well, Oh, it's not very good.
Ooh.
But what? No, it's because though they've apparently split the developing team. They didn't get anyone else because of COVID. They just split the developing team down the middle. The majority of them went to work on next gen NBA 2K. So this one that's come out on current gen is a bit.
It's not even poo. It's just the same as the last one.
So,
yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, you've been playing a game for a year, and especially sports games nowadays. We're in a cycle where they come out every year.
It's the biggest waste of 60 quid that I've ever spent in my whole entire life. I wish I didn't do it.
Yeah, but they say next gen is apparently supposed to be really good and are a completely different game. So much so that you can't transfer your My Career data over to the next generation, which I don't take as a bad thing. I don't take it as a waste of money. I take it as a completely separate game and therefore worth the money I spent.
Great. That's what he thinks about that.
I purposely
Oh,
brought
okay,
my mic
appreciate
closer to do that, to be fair.
Fair play. That makes the cut.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so you were saying about the company that makes it. One of, if not, either the singular or one of the companies that makes it is called Visual Concepts. Now, does anyone remember how bad WWE 2K20 was on release?
No, because I didn't play it.
No, but did you not see anything online about all the glitches and everything like that?
I've seen all the bugs and stuff, but they've had them for years.
No, not that bad.
Oh, really?
It was like...
I did see one where Braun Strowman was stuck between the ropes and couldn't get up, which was quite funny. It did make me laugh.
There's been all sorts of nonsense. Anyway, 2K20 was so bad they're not making 2K21.
Not surprised.
Lol.
If it was really that bad.
They've gone down a different route. They're releasing another game called I think it's called WWE Battlegrounds.
Oh my god!
The arcade version.
Yeah.
That actually looked pretty fun. To be fair.
So they've
completely like an arcade.
It looks fucking shit.
So apparently they're going to come back for 2K22. They obviously need to buck their ideas up. But the company that was behind that game is called Visual Concepts, which I'm pretty sure it's called their Visual Concepts, which are the same company that are behind NBA 2K21.
Well, they're apparently. I saw something of this as well. Apparently, 2K are just going around all the sport franchises, and although a lot of like EA and some of the others, they have kind of monopolies at the moment on these sports games like EA for FIFA, but they're just making arcade versions of these games, which look really fun. Because I don't know if any of you back on PS2 and PSP days, did you play Madden NFL Street or like just NFL Street?
No, I didn't play the Street one.
Nope.
Oh, the Street one was it was an absolutely awesome game. But those kind of games, even FIFA Street, like creating like an arcade version of these kind of things, it could go off because it's not really tapped into that much. And NBA I think it was Playgrounds. That was the arcade version, which again was Visual Concept, I think. And they I think they're just going to keep focusing down that route.
So,
Possibly.
Darren, Luke, you've played NBA a little bit, as far as I know. What are your thoughts on this year's version?
It's boring as fuck. It's the same.
More frustrating. The shooting is absolute wank.
I mean, the
That's
shooting
all I would
model's
say.
shit.
Okay, so I did a bit of research on this one, and I'll tell you what I found. So, in terms of game reviews, IGN gave it 6 out of 10. It's rated 5 out of 10 on Steam. Most, from what I could gather from most people say it just feels like 2K20.5.
Yeah, basically.
The game is littered with
downgraded a
too
bit.
many microtransactions.
The last
Yeah.
one was, to be fair.
The shooting...
That's what 2K
The
is.
shooting is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Online still has too much latency. And
No,
apparently the AI is stupid.
The AI are very, very stupid.
If they're on your team, they are, yeah.
You turn up difficulty.
So I went on the IGN review, and the guy who did it is called Ben Volmer, and he's reviewed the last 3 NBA 2K games. So I took some quotes from what he did. He's called the menu system a disjointed mess.
It's just the same as 2K20.
It's a fucking menu. What does he want from it?
Well, and he said The addition of shot stick aiming and a My Career reskin are nice improvements, but it's becoming harder to ignore the lack of upgrades to key game modes while the focus on monetization only intensifies.
Yeah, oh, that's perfectly said, really. They're changing little shit and trying to blindside us. Like one of the big things that one of the main developers chucked out. Well, I don't know if he's the creative director, but he was like in the YouTube video. There are 12 new jump shot landings.
Oh
Like,
my god!
Like, when you celebrate and score or like perfectly time a jump shot, you get an emote. And the new thing for this game is that there was 12 of them, and that's a talking point.
Sounds
Oh, I've seen the press up one. The press up one's pretty good.
sounds.
Yeah, but that's not a talking point for a new game.
No, I've spent 60 quid on a game where I could do a press up if I hit a 3-pointer that I get an excellent release on. Really?
Yeah, and so that was I get what you're saying. Those little things are trying to blindside us, and then
and the playground is now
costs.
Yeah, and now the playground or whatever it's called is a beach. Brilliant, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, he said he liked the fact that it's changed to Venice Beach. He said he liked that most. It was just a nice sort of change, whatever.
The problem is what they should have done is they should have released the game with some sort of of the next gen features that they're planning to put in, just so that it refreshes the game slightly before the launch of new gen consoles. I just feel like I've bought the same game for no reason. I could have just gone back and played NBA 2K20.
Yeah.
No, the dribbling is different, mind. They have changed the dribbling.
Yeah, but it's not enough to warrant a new game. At least FIFA have gone down a route of all of the stuff that they've done. Granted, I won't be buying it because it infuriates me, that game. But at least they've made changes and it's going to be consistent now up until the release of the new console.
Yeah. I'll mention FIFA in a minute. But yeah, that, from what you were saying, Dan, about the little changes and blindsiding us, it just sounds like the last few years of FIFA, to be honest. But yeah, we'll mention FIFA again in a minute. The guy, Ben, also says the campaign is a colossal disappointment.
I haven't gone through it yet. I skipped it because you have to skip it to be able to go to the neighbourhood.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I don't know. They're usually pretty decent, in all honesty. I'm saving it for next gen though, so I don't want any spoilers.
From what I understand, he's like, the premise of the story is good, but they could have done so much more with it, and for that reason, it's just a letdown.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm on the side of him. Just because you look at what other games do, like COD in a year, what they do, and then FIFA, what they do. Oh no, not FIFA. They're still shit.
Sorry, just a quick one. What are we talking about? I had to nip out of the room.
The story mode in NBA. The guy in his review called it a colossal disappointment.
Well, it's just the same as last year's, except it's slightly different.
He even said in his review that it's lucky that you can skip the story and go straight to the draft.
Which is exactly what I did.
So, but Luke, you say you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's obviously it builds up your player to then be in the NBA.
Yeah.
Which I think is what I enjoyed from the last one.
But I think they could do so much more with it, though, just to go off your point.
Yeah, but you look at FIFA. FIFA doesn't have that. FIFA has nothing.
Yeah, but they have the journey, didn't they?
Yeah,
I know that was shit. I'm not saying that was any good, but what I'm saying is what they could have done is something along the lines of sort of like similar to what F1 went and did, is adding like F2 into it and all of that sort of thing. What they should have done, they should have done is they should have made you start your career as a high school basketball player, but not just giving you like a quarter of a match and then all of a sudden you get like interest from all these other teams and blah blah blah. They should make you play as a high school basketball player for at least a season, like it would be in normal real life situation.
I don't know how many more games I've got, but I was playing.
Maybe not high school, maybe like college.
I'm in the college team. I'm in the college team, and I played a couple of games already, and I don't know how long it's going on for, but you do play. And they could
make the draft so much better as well, because the draft isn't actually realistically like that. It's just not like that.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit weird.
The draft is like this massive blown up thing,
and then you just always get an offer from your first choice, so you could just join anyone.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. It should be like a case of, it doesn't tell you what would be good, and this is just my opinion. Obviously, Dan's the expert on NBA, but what they should have done is they shouldn't have it where you do certain things through the storyline, and it tells you what sort of ranking you are in the draft. What should happen is that you just do what you need to do, but it sort of uses like AI, like the intelligence of the AI, to be able to beat you to the first pick or second pick or whatever. You could end up being 13th, 14th pick and going to a team that you never even wanted to go to. That's what it should be like, because that's what the draft is like.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak for the NBA draft, but I certainly know in the NFL, it's sort of like backwards. Like the worst teams get the first picks, and they always go. They would go for the best players. So the best quarterback coming out of college that year is probably going to end up playing for the worst team in the NFL.
Well, yeah, it's like last year in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors won the final. Yeah. Which means that they, technically, if the NBA draft does work the same as the NFL one, which I presume it probably does, they would have the worst picks. Yeah. But if I went and said, I want to go train for Toronto Raptors, they automatically get first and second pick. Well, that's bullshit. It doesn't... I was just very disappointed by it, and that's why I skipped it, because I just couldn't be bothered with it.
So, so this, like I said, this guy has done where he's given ratings on the last 3 2K games, including this one, and I'll show you. See if you can spot a trend on this one. So he gave NBA 2K19 an 8.5.
Yeah, that's a decent game.
He gave 2K20 a 7.8.
No, I wouldn't have given it that.
He gave 2K21 a 6.
Damn. But yeah, keep in mind that this is... And they did pretty much kind of suggest this. This isn't the finished game. This isn't what they were all working towards. They were all working on next gen.
I get
it going to be a
flop. But you shouldn't.
I do understand that, but you shouldn't.
That are getting it on this one.
They should just not have released it.
Well, no, because it's still going to be a game people people who can't afford the next gen are going to want to play.
Yeah, but that's bullshit, because that's like saying...
the graphics or, parts of the movement, maybe.
Yeah, but that's bollocks, because that's just basically a big, massive middle finger up to all of those people that can't, unfortunately, afford a next-gen console. Which means they're going to literally have a remake of 2K21 with a slightly different shooting model.
Granted, there was a global pandemic as well, later on. And 2K
that's not affected...
quite...
Nah, I'm not using that as a cop-out, because COD have managed to pull it out of the bag. FIFA managed to pull it out of the bag. It's a load of bullshit. Don't use COVID as a fucking excuse.
Yeah, hang on.
We don't know what COVID. We don't know what COD's like.
You say
dog shit as well.
Yeah, you say COD's been able to do it. They've had 2 years to do it.
I'm not saying that they haven't. What you think this developer hasn't been working on this for a long time?
No.
Why would they? Year in, year out.
Yeah.
Are you?
Release the game and start again.
Mate, considering that, they might have had 2 years, but there's still a lot that you can get done in a year. There's still a lot of disruption from having COVID for everyone.
Yeah, but less if they've got an extra year.
But they've been lazy. They have been fucking lazy, because they're giving nothing to those who can't.
We'll see it next gen, innit? Because
I'm seeing it now. They've been fucking lazy. It's a remake of 2K20. It's shit. I've paid £60 for a shit game.
No, there's a lot of things that have been changed, boy. It's not like a complete... Like the demo was, but the demo is never a clear representation of the game.
What version did you buy?
Well, I can't remember what version I bought. I think I bought the normal version for this console, because I didn't have the money to buy the more expensive one.
Oh, okay. Because the more expensive one you get next gen for free.
Yeah, I know. Well, judging on this, I don't really give a shit, because I won't be playing it on next gen anyway, so it's irrelevant to me.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to be a completely different game. But this is what I'm saying. If they change, because they said your My Career doesn't transfer over. If it doesn't, and it's just the same fucking game, then people are going to be pissed, because they're going to be like, well, why can't you just transfer over? It's the same fucking, just a reskin, because there's better graphics.
I feel like they're going down the same route as FIFA. It's all about money that they can get from pre-orders on a shit game that's got nothing new realistically to warrant a £60 to £80 game tag price tag, and they want you to buy VC out your arse to improve your character for 3 months and then have to do it all over again next gen. It's a load of bollocks. Why can't you move My Career over? What difference? What can honestly be
it's a completely different game, apparently.
Yeah, but I don't get what can honestly be different.
Don't buy it then. You shouldn't have bought it. They told you
they were honest though. Yeah, they might have been
that's the
honest,
bonus.
but what I don't understand is they've not given explanations as to why you can't, because they're keeping everything under close wraps, and you could end up getting down the line in 3 months' time and be very, very disappointed.
We shall see. We shall see.
Done?
Rant over.
Jesus.
Oh mate, I've just sorted out my whole life there. I've replied for a few texts. I've just emails gone through. I was loving it. But anyway, I'm gonna just to finish off 2K. I'm gonna read this guy's verdict, just the summary of the review, and you can discuss it from there. So Ben says, when it's clicking, NBA 2K21 has some of the best gameplay in sports video game history, but that's been true for several years now, and though this year's iteration improves on a handful of things, most notably the aim shooting mechanic, so he's a big fan, there hasn't... Do you mind? I'm trying to record a podcast here. Sorry, someone's beeping outside. There hasn't been much movement. At the same time, it's a shame that 2K's focus isn't on the fun you can have on the court, but instead the money that can be extracted from your wallet off the court in the My Career and My Team modes, which just aren't fun to grind through without paying. Maybe the new set of consoles on the horizon will bring a fresh start for the NBA 2K franchise, but right now I feel more pessimistic about the series' future than ever.
I would 100% agree with that.
Dan?
Yeah, they want money.
I agree with the pay bit. That's the bit that's infuriating me the most about this game, to be honest. It's almost like you're stuck behind a paywall if you're not willing to put about 50 quid into the game to get your player up to like max rank. You might as well not bother playing online.
You could grind your character for 2 weeks and have him max probably from base,
Yeah.
I'd say.
You say this, but yeah, FIFA has exactly the same thing with Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
And if FIFA had this
They'll do it. But...
Yeah, they'll do it in their own way.
Yeah, but that's different. That's slightly different. Because
No.
You're not just yes, it is, because you're not focusing on one player, Luke.
Yeah, but you're focusing on your team. If you don't have a good team,
Yeah, but this
you're
is
gonna
what
play,
I'm saying, is
you're
if you
gonna
go
be rubbish.
into my team... Yeah, but this is the difference, right? If you go into my team on NBA, you can get a stacked team in literally a case of an hour.
I'm
And
not
be able
yeah,
to
we're
play
not on
against
about
people
my team.
online. Whereas on FIFA, yeah, you have to put... you don't have to put money into it. If you're sensible and smart enough, you don't have to put any money into it, and you can have a relatively good team pretty quickly. It's when they start putting new cards into the game. But the problem, the difference here is that you don't have a paywall in pro clubs, which is exactly the same as what NBA Neighborhood is. It's basically pro clubs. So you're comparing it to the wrong thing. You're comparing it to something that's irrelevant.
It's the same thing though in its own
No,
way.
it's not though.
But it is.
Well, no, because NBA 2K20, my team is the same as Ultimate Team, so that's the comparison that you need to be making. You can't compare the career mode and the functionality of going onto online as a single person to that, because it's completely different. You need to compare that to pro clubs. Pro clubs, you don't have to go and spend 50 quid to have the best pro on the game. You have to grind.
Yeah.
Whereas on here, you walk in, you splash your credit card onto your Xbox, job done, 50 quid, cool, max me out, and then I'll go and play online with my mates. It's bullshit.
That's if you don't want to do the grind, which is why I was comparing it to Ultimate Team. Because if you don't do the grind, you have a crap team. Or you pay for whatever the FIFA coins are to buy loads of packs, to then make money, to then buy the better players. It's the same concept.
I understand what you're saying about the same concept, but it's a completely different game mode, so it's largely irrelevant.
Okay.
And so, speaking of FIFA, we'll move on to FIFA 21. It is being released on October the 6th, which is slightly later for FIFA
Late,
than
isn't
normal.
it?
But I guess, with the...
Due to COVID,
Yeah,
probably.
I would say so. But I was having a look. I've heard a lot of good things about FIFA this year, actually. I haven't really looked into it too much, but from what I've heard and what other people have said, it seems like they're actually having a good go at improving it. So this is what I went on the FIFA website earlier and then looked at the new features that were listed, and this is what I have seen. So apparently there's going to be an all-new dynamic attacking system in the game. So apparently the AI are going to be the most intelligent they've ever been, and it's sort of geared towards trying to make you score more goals, which sounds kind of exciting. I'll leave career mode to last because they seem to do quite a lot in that.
Is that the only thing you've got on online, or?
No, well, that wasn't just online. That was just in general.
Right, just
Yeah.
in general. Is that like a just... Right, can I just make one point here?
Go on.
Every FIFA has said exactly the same thing, and they're all garbage and they're potatoes.
Well, no, they haven't said that specifically. Like, this is quite specific.
No, but they say that it's... that the AI is more intelligent, blah, 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 blah. They said this at the start of FIFA 20, and the AI was not more intelligent. If anything, they were fucking dumb.
Yeah.
They're probably worse, yeah.
Yeah, enhanced AI was another thing. They mentioned it in the career mode bit for whatever reason, but yeah, again, enhanced AI. Just got a notification on my PC. Sony denies the launch supply of PS5 consoles has been reduced. Don't know what that's about, but anyway. We'll move on to Ultimate Team. They're introducing Ultimate Team events. Not too sure what that is, but also you can do co-op Ultimate Team stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That might be quite a cool addition.
Yeah, kind
I
of.
mean, I'd probably have to like play it to give a fair judgment on it, but it sounds like quite a cool concept.
It's like co-op
I
seasons.
mean, they're trying to
with
add something new.
But also, one massive thing I've seen about Ultimate Team as well is that they're removing fitness items. So
Yep.
I'm guessing your player's fitness doesn't wear down anymore.
No, it does. So the way that I understand it, and from what I've seen on YouTube and stuff, like all the big streamers and stuff, is it's basically they're removing fitness items to force you to have two squads
Oh, so you have to actually like
rather
rotate.
than having. Yeah, so the idea behind it was to stop all these people that were sandbagging games by having like a super stacked first 11 and then having like loads of really low rated bronzes on the bench to bring their team rating down. So when they're doing division rivals, they go against people obviously with the same elo, but it takes into consideration their team as well.
Okay.
So I think they've tried to stop the sandbagging element. So you have to have two full squads realistically that you can rotate game on game to actually be able to do it properly.
Okay. If that's the case, I like the sound of that. I do like that. Making it more realistic.
What will stop them from just using low grades on their bench anyway?
Well, because the difference with that is that they kind of can't, because they kind of have to have a full second 11, because otherwise your players are going to be fucked.
Yeah, no, they have a full second 11, but they don't have them on the bench.
Yeah, because the difference is what you would do in Ultimate Team last year is you'd play your first 11 for 2 games or 1 game or whatever you wanted to do. You'd stick a full fitness card on and they'd all be back up to 100% again.
Yeah.
Whereas this time round, and I don't know whether they go back to 100 straight away. So, for instance, if I went and played with my first 11 for 3 games in a row and everyone was at 60, if I then went and put my second 11 out, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be incorrect here, but I think it goes up by a certain amount every game you leave them on the bench. So they won't be back to full fitness straight away after 1 game.
Yeah, it does go up. Oh, that's how I used to play. I used to have 2 starting 11s.
Yeah.
And then 1 game I play one team, the second game I play the other. Because I didn't buy any fitness cards. That's how I used to play. But I was just thinking, how does it? If you put a crap team in your bench and reserves, but then next game you completely swap it all out for the lower, the higher grade players again, your actual second 11, then that's not really fixing the problem, is it?
No, because you'd still have to play a game with the shit 11.
No, you take them. You leave them on your bench, but then stick your other second 11 in, like from your club rather than from your.
Well, that's still
reserves.
the same. You'd still have to have 2 good teams of 11.
Yeah, you can
I
still
think what
do
they're
that,
trying to
yeah.
do is they're essentially trying to stop, in my opinion, is they're trying to stop the sandbagging at the start of the game where people go in and buy a shit ton of FIFA points, get extremely lucky, buy these absolute god squads 2 weeks in, and
Yeah, I guess so.
literally just ruin the whole of FIFA
Just
for
with
everyone.
one team, yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to stop. They're trying to sort of like spread it out so over the year you gradually get to that point, but by that point everyone's got to that point, not just that small group of people that are getting top 100 every single weekend league and getting all the best rewards and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very good. I love it this year. I've just been letting you lot just argue and just sit back.
Just debating.
No, yeah, well, it's more arguing about 2K, but yeah.
Yeah, because the game pissed me off.
Anyway, so yeah, I said I'll leave career mode to last. So looks like they've tried to do as much with career mode as possible, which people have been crying out for years. So additions to career mode: interactive match simulation, which me and Luke were briefly discussing before the start of the podcast. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Well, they're saying it's new, but they took it out of the game for a reason because it was there before.
But so
Is it FIFA 14?
when you sim the game, you can sort of see what's happening on the pitch, whereas before obviously you couldn't. It's kind of like a it's kind of
right, so it's a little bit like Football Manager in that
so
way.
when you sim it, it's sort of like a 2D Football Manager sort of thing. But during a match sim, you can jump in and out of the game.
Literally just pause it, and then you can start like taking control of the players.
Okay, I'm not a big career mode player. I don't really play it at all. But my only issue with that is that then gives you the sort of ability to be able to not play a single game.
Yeah.
And then when it was all going wrong, you jump in, score 2 goals, win a game, job done. You're not
Yeah,
really playing.
and that's what I said to Luke. Like, I'm not sure on that element, because if you don't want to lose, then play the game. If you're going to sim it, then if you don't want to play it and
it
you
should
sim
be
it,
a straight sim, and whatever the result is the
Yeah.
result at the end of the day. If you're going to sim it, you've got to take that risk that you might not win.
So, but during a match sim, even if you don't jump in, you can make subs yourself, which is a thing I quite like.
Okay, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that because it's almost like the Football Manager route again.
So
I never understood why they didn't have that in the first place. That made no sense.
So yeah, I think just overall the match simulation stuff they've improved, which I think is good. It's just the jump in and out of the game I'm not too sure about. You can train, so as well as obviously training a player's stats, you can also train players to play in new positions and change their style of play as well. So I quite like.
I don't know how much.
I mean, I find it tough to get excited about this sort of stuff because this should, for a football game, for the apparently best football game out there, this should already have been in the game for a long time.
So like the example you used was, I think it was Trent, and you could train him to be like a proper right winger or a defensive sort of fullback, as opposed to how he normally plays, for example, which I quite like. And then I think they used the example of when you change the style of play. I think it was Firmino, and they had sort of like different roles for the position that he plays, kind of like Football Manager again.
So you couldn't train them. So you know how you're saying Trent would be the right attacker, winger, or a defensive. You can't start training him in goal.
Probably not. I don't know. You might be able
I know
to.
the jokes.
But yeah, just put Salah in goal or something.
Yeah.
Jokes.
So you can, on the calendar this year, you can change the schedule. So you can set training days, you can set rest days for your team. You can run group training sessions as well now, which is pretty cool. Again, sort of taking that from Football Manager.
It just sounds like they've carbon copied Football Manager and basically put it into FIFA.
And they've also added a new transfer dynamic as well. So they've now added you can do loan to buy transfers as well, rather than just normal. And apparently the sort of AI transfers are sort of a bit better, because Lord knows the last few years they've been very sort of rogue, if you like.
Some questionable transfers going on.
So I haven't seen anything to do with pro clubs though. A lot of people have wanted stuff to happen to pro clubs, but it doesn't seem
They've released fuck all.
seems like they haven't. Well, as of yet, what I can see, nothing has really changed.
Do you know what they need to do with pro clubs, in my opinion? What they need to do is just go back to what it used to be.
What do you mean?
Back in the day when you had all the achievements and stuff, and that's how you got your player better.
That's the one element that I prefer, because pro clubs overall hasn't changed. It's the same
No,
thing.
I hate all the random aspects of it. Like you play games and you go to a point where like you sort of level up so sporadically, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's random.
And it just gives you random stats, and it's just like just let me be.
Yeah, I much prefer
in
that
the
way of
game.
it, is that you by completing stuff.
Exactly.
That's how you level up your player. I'm definitely prefer
and being
that.
able to
Yeah.
target those specific
Whereas-
things that you want to target to get the things that you need. For instance, you like score, what was it? Like things like score 25 goals and you get 3 finishing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And then whereas now it's like you'll play a load of games and then for like rather sporadically they'll just say, "Oh, you've got a point to use" or whatever. Like doesn't seem to be any
exactly.
sort of logic to it.
It's just little things.
Yeah, but the overall pro clubs hasn't changed. It's just that element, which I definitely prefer the old version.
And what I would quite like to see as well is something along the lines of, this is a very rogue idea, and I don't even know whether this is even viable, but having sort of like, so like, obviously as you can imagine, the teams you play against when you play a game on pro clubs is regionalised anyway, because they'll try and find the closest game to you for the best connection. In very, very broad terms. Yeah. Having like a regionalised league, so you'll be put in a league of 20 teams, for instance, rather than putting this division system where you win like 4 games and you get promoted, because it's completely unrealistic, and just say like you have a week where you're in that league and top is whoever's won the most games or won the most points, and you basically just play as many games as you possibly can to get out of that league.
No, I don't like that.
To move up to the next one.
Don't like that.
I think something needs to change though. Something needs to change. It's just
but then
idea,
if you put in a league system and then you just get put in a league of 20 teams, one team might log on once, play 4 games in a week, and that's it. Like
you might not have the teams to play against.
I'm not saying it has to be like that.
No, I know. I'm just
obviously they'll have the intelligence within FIFA or within EA to be able to do it so that it takes out those teams that are like not playing at all, if that makes sense. So they'll put the more active teams together. I'm not saying they play against each other. I'm saying you go into a game like you normally would, it will find you a game. Whether that be against someone who's in a different league to you, but I'm just saying it will take a...
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think the division systems as it is works fine.
I think it just needs a little bit of an overhaul because they just ignored it for another year again.
They need to do something about definitely about your pro leveling up and stuff.
Yeah,
like we've already said.
It's probably the most enjoyable thing about FIFA, and they don't want to touch it.
Stupid, isn't it? Really?
Well, I'll tell you why. They don't make any money out of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. But then they don't make any money at career mode, and they changed that.
It's because so many people have said something about career mode. So many FIFA YouTubers and Twitch players have said if they don't change career mode, then they will probably boycott it. This year there was such an uproar about changes to career mode. There's so many people have like come out and said if they don't change it, then they're done with FIFA.
What's the point? Yeah, because it's the same game.
Because that's like a lot of FIFA players on YouTube, especially, is like career modes. You see more Ultimate Team more on Twitch, and career mode more on FIFA. And like, for example, like one guy that I've sub to on YouTube is Dale. You might know him, Chesnoid Gaming. Yeah. So I've subbed to him for a while now, and he does FIFA career modes, and like don't get me wrong, like he makes it enjoyable, but the game itself hasn't changed for however many years. And him and other people that he knows and whatever, and I've seen it on Twitter and all sorts, have just said, yeah, career mode is screaming out for change, and it finally looks like it's come. You know, it doesn't look like it looks like there's plenty there to sort of get your teeth into. So, you know, hopefully.
Just depends how long that goes on for.
They probably won't touch it again for another 5 years or something now.
So are we all buying it?
Probably
then?
will.
That's the next question.
Just because I've had every FIFA since... I've only missed one FIFA since FIFA 2000.
Fair enough.
Jesus.
Luke?
No. Considering I've probably played this FIFA maybe 20 times, 30 times. This really isn't enough, to be honest. I just don't enjoy it.
Fair enough.
The only FIFA I haven't had in the last 20 years is FIFA 2001.
I can't remember that game.
So, just on that basis, I probably will buy it.
I will not be buying it upon release. However, I will be maybe tempted to buy it if pro clubs is slightly different or overhauled, because as we've alluded to, although we don't think it's been overhauled, we don't know yet because they've not actually said anything.
I'm more.
So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, because that could be quite good as a sort of like a across slightly good gamers to do that sort of pro clubs
We
thing.
tried that, and me and Luke tried that, and it went horribly wrong. But
God.
Yeah, but you had outsiders, mate. That's why.
True.
If it was just me, you, Luke, and Dan, or me, you, and Luke, because I can't imagine Dan's buying FIFA.
Probably not. But Luke, I
Nah,
guess if
unless-
you buy it, Luke will as well.
Well, yeah. And it depends. I think Skinny normally buys it for Dan, so that's. I think he had the last one.
I'm more likely to play it on PC than I am on a console.
Of course, because you do your thing, don't you?
Yeah, I play with a few of the other boys from PC, like Limo and that. I mean, I've been playing it rather sporadically, but it was a phase where every Friday we would play FIFA, and it's a good laugh when there's a lot of you.
FIFA Fridays.
Yeah, me. So yeah, FIFA in general looks like it's having a good. It looks like they've done a bit to it this year. Hopefully, it will be an improvement on. I think they went backwards last year, to be honest. So hopefully, it's a vast improvement.
FIFA 19 wasn't any better either, to be honest. I think the last one I actually enjoyed playing was 18.
Jesus.
Jesus.
even
Yeah, to be
remember.
fair, that is probably the last one I enjoyed as well.
That was the one I probably put the most time into in terms of Ultimate Team and actually grinding it rather than spending all my money.
Okay, let's move on. I've got one more game to talk about in depth, and then so we're just over an hour now. So the new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah, I've said a lot of bad things about this.
Well, give me quick fire questions. Are we excited?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So it's due for release, as we mentioned earlier. It's November 13th, 3 days after the Xbox X. So I've taken this from the Wikipedia page for the game. So, Wikipedia, the most reliable source on the internet, as we all know.
Of course.
So, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is set during the Cold War. Interesting. Couldn't have guessed that from the title. Yeah, set during the Cold War in the early 1980s. The story is inspired by actual events, and the campaign features locations such as East Berlin, Vietnam, Turkey, and the Soviet KGB headquarters. And then it gives you a little bit of info on the campaign. So in 1981, President Ronald Reagan learns of Perseus, a Soviet spy, and this campaign is based on an actual conspiracy. Reagan learns of a spy and authorizes an operation led by CIA officer Russell Adler, which is who the player takes control of in the game, and his team to counter Perseus. And then there's other people. So Alex, CIA veterans Alex Mace. Is Alex in this one? Yeah, he's okay. So yeah. Anyway, ignore that. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure there's someone in this campaign called Alex, but he won't be in that one because it's Black Ops, not Modern Warfare. The player character, codenamed Bell, can be customized with
Bell End.
Brilliant. Can be customized with different skin tones, ethnic backgrounds, and genders, as well as different personality traits that provide in-game perks. The campaign will have multiple endings depending on player choice throughout the campaign.
That is probably the most interesting campaign that I've heard about in a COD game for quite some time.
Have you played this year's campaign?
Yeah. I thought this year's campaign was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this year's one. I always enjoy the campaigns. Even in, like,
I enjoy the campaigns more than the actual games themselves, like the multiplayer aspect.
Apart from maybe Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare, I always really enjoy the campaigns in COD. And like you said, sometimes they are better than the online. I know you two won't
Yeah.
necessarily agree, but I think the
No, I do
online
agree.
in this year's game is much better than it has been in some of the latest versions. I'm not saying it's
yep.
the best, but
I agree.
It's better than some of the ones.
Mate,
that have come
it
previous.
actually looks good.
What, this one? Or?
For the multiplayer, yeah. Right, so I was concerned that what was going to happen was it was going to be like Black Ops or whatever it was. Black Ops 4, was it? The last one that they did?
Yeah.
I was concerned it was going to be like that because that game was shocking. The multiplayer on that was absolutely atrociously bad.
Is that the
And I
one?
thought they were just going to go straight down the same route.
Is that the one with the different like classes?
Yeah, that was the one where like the time to kill was ridiculous.
Fast or
And
slow?
you could insta heal slow as hell.
I think it's.
You know where they basically recycled loads of old maps.
To be honest, I can't remember that far back.
So I like the fact they've gone down the route of Cold War because that means that they're not going to be able to recycle old maps at all. So you're going to have a whole new like base of maps.
Well, they
I
might
like the
be able
fact
to
it's
do
got-
it in DLC like they have done in some games where they can bring an old one in and slightly change it.
In terms of you're going to get like the problem that I had in previous Call of Duties is they've just copied other maps and maybe tweaked them ever so slightly to make them slightly different, and you wouldn't necessarily recognise it as an old map, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they've done that. I like the fact that the Battle Pass is going to be there like it was in this one, but all DLC is going to be free.
What if
Like
you
this
have
one.
the battle pass?
No, in general, all
Okay.
map packs are free again. I like the fact that they're carrying on with Warzone and changing parts of the map to inject the Cold War aspect in. What else was there?
Well, they're not doing. No, it's a completely different game. Completely different Warzone, I think.
No, it's not.
No, I think
it's the same.
is. I think it is going to be the same, from what I understand.
Okay.
I like
Still
the fact
better than
that
Apex.
obviously zombies.
Yeah, zombies is massive. Do love a good game of
else was there?
zombies.
From what I've seen, the actual gameplay, it looks crisp. It looks real crisp. The guns look sick.
What I've heard though is because it's a Treyarch game, you can kill people around corners, sort of stuff. It favours
Shock, but that happens in every Call of Duty loot.
no,
Yeah, but Luke, do
considerably
you think
more.
everyone
on,
that kills you in COD is a hacker?
Well, they are, but that's irrelevant. This one,
such a
I don't know. You remember playing Treyarch games like Black Ops 1, 2, 3? It always felt nowhere near as crisp as the Infinity War Modern
I
Warfare
actually
stuff.
disagree with you completely. I actually enjoyed the Black Ops.
Black Ops 1 and 2 were very good games.
But
I'd say they're probably two of my favourite games in the Call of Duty franchise.
Black Ops 2 is up there for a lot of people as their favourite COD.
so I watched someone reviewing it who's actually played it, and he was saying that from those games you had points where if you're running around a corner, like the attacker will see you first, you'll get killed before you can do anything. That's exactly the same on this game.
Well, the problem that we had with this last game is that online you've gone from having a really slow time to kill to a very, very exceptionally high time to kill. This game, I don't think I've ever been killed quicker in any Call of Duty game on an online. It is ridiculous how quick you get fucking dropped. Sometimes before I can even pull the trigger to even aim at someone, I'm dead. It shouldn't be like that. It didn't sit right, which is why I don't really play it all that often. I played it quite a lot at the start, but
That's Modern Warfare for you, though. All of them have been like that.
I feel like this Call of Duty is going to be the one that I probably enjoy the most since, well, going way back.
Yeah, I think it has the potential. I do like the Cold War aspect of it, like you said. I think it's a nice change. I'm interested. Like I said, the campaigns are normally the saving grace of COD. So even if the online is not great, the campaign should be good. So I'm looking forward to that. So there's information on the multiplayer as well. So multiplayer features new and returning game modes, as well as maps that accommodate both the traditional 6v6 format as well as the larger 12v12 combat. The game also introduced a new game mode called Fire Team, which can support up to 40 players. Create class function uses a similar system to the one in Modern Warfare, but with two major differences. Field upgrades are implemented as part of class loadouts, and each class has a wildcard choice for more primary attachments, more perks, more grenade equipment, or mixing and matching any weapon/perk type in any slot. It will also support cross-platform play. In addition, the progression system for multiplayer will be integrated with Warzone, meaning that gears and weapons unlocked in Cold War can be used in Warzone and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. I've also heard that they've changed the kill streaks to
their score streaks.
to a score streak,
Which is what I fucking hate. That is one bad thing. Do not like score streaks.
They've kind of tried balancing out the score streaks with people who go in, get loads of kills, die a lot.
Yeah. To people who play objectively.
Which
I
win the
get.
game.
I do get it. I feel like this is probably the best balanced multiplayer that I've seen for a very long time, if not ever, in terms of it seems to be pretty consistent across the board. And also another thing I like as well is the fact that with attachments they've actually put numerical values against attachments. So in this one it says that it reduces range, bullet velocity, blah blah blah. It doesn't actually give you a numerical number.
Just the bar.
In this one, it does give you a numerical number.
Yeah,
So
percentages
you
and
can
stuff.
actually work out how to counteract it with other attachments. And I've also seen that there's up to 50 attachments
Jesus.
per gun.
Yeah, but there's loads in this one as well.
That's probably
No.
That's probably the same.
So I was just wanted to read that bit again about the creator class. Field upgrades are implemented as part of class loadouts. So what the field upgrades are like the stopping power rounds and stuff, are they not?
Yeah.
Implemented as part of class loadouts.
Yeah, so it's going to be the same as this one.
Right, okay.
So you'll have your perks, you'll have your guns, and you'll have your field.
Right, okay.
Whatever it's
And
called.
each class has a wild card choice for more attachments or perks or grenade equipment or mixing and matching weapon/perk
Yeah,
types.
so I saw this earlier on a review that I saw on YouTube. Yeah, it's basically the wild card can give you.
But didn't they have that?
use it on
Is that just what
attachments.
they've had in older cards? I swear.
They've
yeah,
had
I
it in the
think
Black
so.
Ops ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine.
But I think in the older ones it gave you. Did it give you one more attachment or two more attachments? I can't remember. But I think on this one it can give you up to 8.
Jesus.
What?
Not 8 extra.
Just
I'm
8 in
talking
general.
8 in
Right,
in
okay.
total, rather than the normal standard 5.
Right. Okay.
Even so, 8 attachments is pretty disgusting.
It's because I read that so quickly, I didn't process in my brain that well. But yeah, so yeah. All in all, are we all going to be buying the next COD?
Yeah, I think so.
But that means Luke
I
will
guess
have
a
it
yes
as well.
from
then.
me.
I don't know. I probably won't. I'll probably won't get it straight away. I won't pre-order it definitely.
Interesting. You're going to give Warzone another go this year, Luke? When it
No
comes out?
chance. No chance.
But it's still better
He
than
will.
Apex.
Don't you dare
It's
ever say
not.
that.
Mate, I've had better looking shits than Apex.
Well, still better than Modern Warfare.
So that's the last game I had to talk about in depth. There is one other game that I wanted to talk about. I don't think we spoke about it last time. I haven't really got any notes on it, but I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Fall Guys.
Why is it not on Xbox? We could have so much jokes playing that game.
True.
Why not buy it on your PC or your laptop or whatever?
How much is it?
15 quid.
I might actually have to buy that on payday.
Luke, you've been saying for ages, oh, I need to buy Fall Guys, oh, I need to buy Fall Guys.
Need to buy it, but I won't have a controller to play it because I don't think controllers work on the Mac.
No, they don't. You have to get a Windows 10.
Yeah,
You're not playing on
fuck
mouse and
that.
keyboard.
Yeah, it's just easier to play on a controller.
Fuck that.
I can't imagine how it's going to be any easier, realistically. It's just WASD spacebar right click on it.
No, trust me, it is easier to play on a controller.
Alright, fair enough.
But when I first started playing it, I was playing on mouse and keyboard. It's like, oh, it's not that bad. And then when you plug in a controller, you're like, oh yeah, actually no, this is much better.
I'm sure you might be able to on Mac if you plug it in, Luke.
I think I need to buy a dongle for it. Effort.
But just try USB in it. It might work, I don't know.
Yeah, I think no. I don't think it does.
Well, I'll definitely look to get it as long as we can get people playing it.
Oh mate, I've wanted to play it for ages, but no one else has got it.
Oh, I'll be down for that. Remind me on payday, I'll buy it.
Well, when is payday?
28th.
Oh fucking hell. Right. But yeah, have you watched much of it? Do you like the look of it? Like,
Yeah, it looks jokes.
little jelly beans.
Yeah, it looks fun.
literally.
Yeah, it is very good fun.
I've been watching a lot of the videos that the Sidemen have been putting up on it because they play it constantly.
Yeah. There's this American group that I watch. They're called New Legacy Inc. And I watch them because they primarily do wrestling stuff. But they play a lot of Fall Guys recently. And what they do is they just stream on Twitch and then just upload their VODs to YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just they're funny as a collective. The main guy in it is called Johnny, and he's so funny. And yeah, just him playing Fall Guys is just jokes.
It's very irritating that you can get it on PS4 and PC, but you can't get it on Xbox. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, I remember reading into it, but I can't remember why exactly. But
PlayStation probably bought the console rights. That's probably what it is.
I tell you what, it reminds me of. It reminds me of you remember Domino's Crash Course, Doritos Crash Course, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
yeah, it is. It's really good fun. It is. We'll have to get on it.
No, definitely.
Just quickly, has anyone seen the things that Dan's put in the WhatsApp group?
I have the PS5
Yeah, so
apparent release cost.
he's just this is something that he's put in after he's gone. He screenshotted it from his Facebook, and it looks like leaked pictures from a major Spanish retailer. Well, I'll just read. It's a Lad Bible article, so I'll just read what I can see. So it says, from a major Spanish retailer appear to have confirmed the cost of the digital and standard editions of the next-gen console, with the pricing lining up with a number of earlier leaks. Both images come from El Corte Inglés via All Games Delta on Twitter. Pictures
Can you try and say that in a Spanish accent for me, quick?
El Corte Inglés.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Or El Corte Inglés. Mate,
Thank you.
I used to do Spanish, innit?
Sorry, you sounded like Rafa Benitez, and I loved it.
We have to take our chances. Pictures allegedly
Carry on.
Pictures allegedly from the store's internal systems show that the standard PS5 is priced at €499.90, which is roughly £460. The cheaper digital edition, meanwhile, appears to cost €399.90, which is £369. So he screenshot someone. Oh, what's it called? Commented, there we go, on the post saying, "Imagine paying for an underpowered system with less memory." So
It's so true.
So the PS5, as we know, is not going to be as strong as the Xbox in terms of performance. The original version is going to cost £10 more. No, yeah, £10 more, and the digital version is going to cost £120 more.
It's a fucking joke.
If those
If that's
screenshots
true.
are to be believed.
That's horrendous.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand the top end, and they've done well if that is going to be £10 more. But why would you pay £10 more when you can have a much more powerful console? It just makes no sense. It's a no-brainer. You're not going to buy that console just for the exclusive, surely.
It's loyalties, isn't it?
Yeah,
The only reason I
Yeah, but
bought an
if someone
Xbox-
if someone turned around to me and said that the PS5 was coming out and it was going to be way more powerful than the Xbox, I'd get the PS5. I'm not even joking. I would actually get the PS5 because I feel like it would be a better experience
I think
of gaming, and I can still play the same games that I would anyway.
the only reason I converted to Xbox is because I had a PS2 and we got in. I think it was like year 7 maybe. That I still had just the PS2. So what? Year 7. How old were we in year 7? 11.
Yeah.
So that
11,
was
12.
2005. So 15 years ago. This is. I still had a bit. Fucking hell, we're old, aren't we? Jesus. I still had a PS2, and I stayed round Will Ralston's house, and he had an Xbox 360. Him and his brothers, and I remember. I think it was me and Richmond stayed round his house, and we played the 360 and I was just like, I need this console in my life. Do you know what I mean? Because it was like the upgrade on the original Xbox, and the PS3 still hadn't been released.
Yeah.
I wanted a new console. If the PS3 had been out then, because I'd had my PS2 for a number of years, if the PS3 had come out sooner, I probably would have just got a PS3. But because it took so long to come out and the 360 was already a thing, I switched to 360, and now I don't think I could go back.
Which
That's
hang on, I
exactly the same
think
with me.
with the PlayStation, when it eventually come out, I think it was around £100 more. Would you have bought it then?
Probably, but I got my 360
Well, parents
for
would have.
birthday or Christmas. I can't remember which. So at that age, the price wouldn't. I know it sounds like really shallow, but the price wouldn't have made a difference because I probably wouldn't have been the one that bought it. Do you know what I mean?
True, but if it was in your hands and you had to buy it, would you have forked out £100 more for?
If I hadn't played the Xbox, then I probably would have. Because I was just like, oh, it's just an upgrade on the PlayStation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because I played a 360, and I was just like, oh, this is actually really good, then I just want a new console. And plus, of course, you know, I learned that online was a thing then. Will had it, Richmond had one. So my friends at the time had this console, and it was an improvement. So it just, you know, made sense. Like, oh, I can actually go online and play with my mates. That's so cool. Do you know what I mean? As an 11-year-old, like, whereas you know, I'd never played. I know it was possible, but I never played online on the PS2. I didn't know how. So you know, like, yeah, it just made sense. But I think, yeah, if I hadn't played an Xbox, I would have just got a PS3. But you know, but now, like Freeman said, you know, if the PS5 was better to get one, I don't think I could switch back now. I think I'm too used to the Xbox now to go back.
If they made controllers the same shape and size as the Xbox for
actually, that's a good
PlayStation,
point.
then that would obviously sway me more over to it. If it was the better console, the more powerful
that's
console
true.
for a lower price.
I do think the Xbox controllers are much better.
I find that like my hands sweat quite a lot, and with the PS controllers, my hands like are too big for them. So like when I'm trying to do stuff, I can't.
Yeah.
It just slips out my hand.
Oh, you talking about the controller there or something else?
Funny.
Yeah. So I think that just about wraps up everything that I had to talk about. Does anyone else have anything?
No, that was it. I mentioned the cloud gaming, but can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I've got anything else.
Alright, so let's just briefly talk about then. What have we got coming up? What's in the pipeline for the YouTube channel?
More Apex.
Brilliant.
Shot. Me and Luke have got.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to try
If that trend continues,
get
I might just take the
a way
channel
out. I'm hoping an episode every 2-3 days, just to keep things fresh.
Okay. I mean, so I've got the second episode of F1 in the works. I just need to do a commentary on that, even though that's been like that for absolutely ages. But I just haven't had the time to do it. Me and Luke need to record more Gears. All the Gears stuff I have has gone out, so me and Luke need to get onto that.
Jesus, yeah.
I think Freeman, you said about potentially finding a game for us to play.
Yeah. Whatever that's going to be, I don't know yet, but something.
I think, Luke, haven't you got more COD recorded as well that we could potentially get out sometime?
No, it had
I
that
thought
stupid overlay on it, doesn't it? So I'll have to record some more.
So, yeah, I think...
There's plenty in the pipeline.
Yeah, there's plenty in the pipeline, but, you know, if you have any suggestions or anything, then please, by all means, let us know on Twitter or on...
in the comments.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
comments.
definitely. If there's anyone
by all
out there
means.
who plays Xbox and has got the Xbox Game Pass and wants us to play something off of there, then just give us a shout on Twitter or something.
But I think that is going to just about wrap up this podcast. It's been long overdue. It's been a long one, but definitely needed. And a good catch-up as well, I think, boys.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as ever, thank you to you, Dale, for joining us.
Thank you.
And Luke, thank you.
Thank you very much, mate.
Dan, thank you when you're editing this. Thank you for joining us, even though you had to leave halfway through. I mean, he had a legit reason, so, you know, can't be too mad. So yeah, like I said, guys, that is going to wrap up everything from us. I hope you have enjoyed this podcast. You can find us on social media at SGoodGamers. We also have an Instagram at SlightlyGoodGamers. We need to improve performance on that. It's been a bit lackluster. We are also on Facebook, Slightly Good Games as well. All of our Twitter links are on the thumbnail to this podcast. But like we said, we hope you have enjoyed it. So guys, without further ado, we will see you next time.
Au revoir.
Bye.